And welcome back to episode 26 of Who's on Top. I am sure you're confused now because I am clearly not Ori, but I'm Ellis, and I'm filling in for Ori today as host.
Dude, you're Ellis?
Yes, I know. I've impeded Ori's role. I'm an imposter, but Ori's getting settled at William & Mary, so shout out to him, and we wish him well at William & Mary. And while I cannot compare, obviously, to Ori's incredible hosting skills, I'll do my best. And I promise to be less obnoxious with my word choice than Ori. So
thank God.
You'll get at least that. Anyway, let's move on.
I will be here to mystify the difference.
Yes.
No,
anyway,
there's no need for that.
let's move on and introduce our regulars and our special guest for today's episode, replacing me since I play Story. So, standing in at 5'10" or 6 foot, depending who you ask, wearing a Camp Meadowbrook day camp shirt where he works, the one, the only Frisbo, Jacob Kasdan.
What's up, guys? Can't wait to make some predictions and talk about some sports.
Standing in at 5'5" or 5'4", also depending who you ask, we got the man with a new fresh cut, looking good, Jeremy Giles.
You actually said my name before you announced me. And
I know. I told you I'm not going to be as good, bro. Just say
You're
hi
right.
and
You're
let's
right.
move on.
Viewers, I'm sorry. We love you.
All right. Now, we got our special guest, the basketball champion and poker champion, though. Still needs to learn how to shoot. The most slipperiest man when sweaty. We got the one, the only Dan Fox.
Yeah, I can't say I love that introduction, but I'm glad to be here.
Well, welcome to the episode, Dan. We love the introduction. Anyway, let's move on to our first topic today, one that I probably have the most knowledge within because
The only knowledge in.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it real quick. We're going to go ahead and glaze over it. The MLS is back tournament finally is over with a winner. It was the Portland Timbers, so congratulations to them beating Orlando City 2-1 after a 62nd minute goal off a cross. Honestly, the game itself wasn't the best finals. Nothing much to talk about. That's why, Orlando were clearly the underdog here, but they played well. Timbers just their quality in the pitch was too much to match. Overall, though, the MLS back tournament, as we discussed last week, great success. A few success stories of Corona. First success sports story of Corona. So big congratulations to them, and hopefully their new season that I think starts in 2 months will go without a hitch. All right, let's move on to some other news happening that all of us missed, and this has to do with college football as the Big Ten canceled, or at least they're delayed to spring. Postponed.
Yes.
Pac-12 also postponed. Where the Big Ten, ACC, and SEC are on as of now. What do you guys think about this?
Big 12, not Big 10.
Big 12, not Big 10. Big 12, ACC, and SEC are on of now. What do you guys think of this? Smart move? Who made the right decision?
Yeah, personally, I'm going to an ACC school, so obviously I'm I'm happy that there is going to be football there.
Wait, Jacob's
actually trying out for the football.
Is in the ACC. They're not doing walk-ons as of now, but they are going to email me when they open walk-ons. They are going to email me.
Why
so,
even season?
Yeah, it's fine. But as of now, they are going to have football, so I will have no fans. No fans, but we can still watch. Obviously, it's fun, but I don't think the season will happen in the end. I think it will end up getting canceled just like the other conferences.
What about you, Dan or Jeremy? What do you guys think about this?
I don't know how I feel about colleges opening up as a whole. I actually think football programs opening up is not a bad thing, and here's why. Because in my mind, it's a lot about liability, right? Because with a football program, there comes a lot of discipline, right? And you can, especially in college, where you have more control over your students than the players in the NFL, right? Who are not that college students aren't adults, but who are adults out of college, not living with the institution, living on their own. Right, so you can say, okay, none of these rules. If you break these rules, you are suspended or you're off the team. So I just think, not that there's no risk, but I don't know if that risk is greater than the risk of them being at home.
That's what Trevor Lawrence's argument was.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is a fair argument, right? Especially since you must consider these are college kids, often college kids from the South and parts of the country that, right, like a lot of the colleges in the SEC are more southern colleges, and in parts of the country where corona restrictions aren't that great. So it's the problem is that the NCAA is liable, not so much that the risk is actually increasing.
Yeah, I think the big point is that these aren't professional athletes. These are students. So it's a whole different issue that it's not their job, that it's just them going and participating in a varsity sport. I mean, it kind of makes sense, you know, when you got the Big Ten and the Pac-12, the West and the North, how they're opting out, or canceling their season, I should say, because those are the regions that take the virus more seriously, and the South not as much. So, look, I think it's a problem that you have some teams playing in the North. I mean, some teams playing in the fall and some teams playing in the spring. I mean, you're not going to have – I don't think you'll have a legitimate college football championship here. And, look, we'll see how it goes. They could have great protocols. Everyone could follow them, and we could have nothing. But I would say that's highly unlikely as of now.
And Dan made a good point that I want to harp on a little bit, that they're students, not athletes. This is not their job. They're not being paid for it. This is, by NCAA standards, if you're a student, why would you risk just your health for just a game you play? Which is why the whole NCAA is, I guess, argument. But I see Trevor Lawrence's argument too. Let's move on, though, to professional – what, Jeremy?
There's one other point about this I think we haven't focus very much on, is that they aren't canceling it but moving it to the spring.
Yeah.
Which to me, I know this is what I've heard, and I think I agree with. Can I just finish what I'm saying real quickly?
Sorry.
Is that it's just that even more risky because of the sport is football, right? We're talking. Well, first of all, it was all sports in these conferences that were canceled. Let's be clear, not just football. But for football, right, it's such an impact on the student's body and the football player's body to play the game, just because it's so physical, that having seasons that close to each other is almost as unsafe, or probably for a young, healthy student, maybe even more unsafe than actually the risk of COVID.
Jeremy, I think the schools that are having football in the fall are not going to do spring, and vice versa.
But what I'm saying is the spring season is very close to the season of the next year.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. We'll even see if the spring season happens. But yes, but let's move on from –
which it may not, yeah.
Yeah, let's move on from some amateur sports by NCAA standards to professional athletes, because the race for the 8th seed in the Western Conference is heating up at the moment. Dame is coming in clutch. We right now got the Dame, I think, just took the 8th seed. The Trailblazers
just took the 8th seed.
Yeah.
And then Grizzlies are 9, and Suns and Spurs are also in it. Devin Booker's going off. So who do you think is going to be the 8th and 9th seed, and any other players to add, maybe players that can make a big impact or have making a big impact? Jacob?
Yeah, so personally, I think the Trailblazers will take the 8th seed, and I think the Suns will take the 9th seed. The Grizzlies, Suns, and Spurs are all tied for a half game behind the Blazers for the 8th seed. I think, obviously, Dame and Devin Booker are two of the most explosive and best performing players right now. Dame's dropped 60 points to back-to-back nights with 50-point games, 61 yesterday. As we all know, Devin Booker's had, I think, the Suns are undefeated, right, Ellis? 7-0?
Yes, Suns are undefeated.
7-0 so far. I think Devin Booker's had above 30 points in every game. They're balling out. I think it's going to be the Trailblazers against the Suns for the 8-9 playing game.
I don't really see how you can argue against that. Obviously, the Grizzlies with Ja Morant have not been doing so well. They've been struggling a bit. I think partly right, just in the middle of your rookie season, coming back to a restart like this is, a season that's already your first and something you need to adjust to is really difficult. And I just don't see how you bet against the Trailblazers and the Suns when, one, the Suns are undefeated right now and are absolutely cooking it. Really, Dame. I'm not even going to say the Trailblazers. Like, Dame's scoring 60. It's Dame and the Suns. It's just, how do you pick against them? Like, and quite honestly, even more than for the 8th and 9th seed, I'd be worried about who has to play them, right? So I guess for the Lakers, just because I don't think they'll lose, but I think either team would be very capable with how they're playing right now of giving them a hard time.
Ox?
Yeah, the thing I'm looking at is how are teams adapting to this new environment? And because it's completely different than anything they've experienced in an NBA season ever. And you look at the Grizzlies, who have lost 6 out of 7, and the thing with the Grizzlies, they took a good step forward this year. They got Ja Morant, that's their franchise, and now they get to keep taking steps forward. But this isn't their season. It's going to come down. I agree with Jacob. I agree with Jeremy. The Trailblazers and Suns. The Suns are just red hot. They look. You got Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton.
Suns.
great talent on that team, and it's all coming together right now. And also when you think about how young they are, so they're able to take these 4 months off and come right back into basketball shape. And the Trailblazers with Damian Lillard, who's just going off. I mean, in a one-game playoff, how many are the
It's a best. It's a 8th seed has to win 1 game and 9th seed has to win 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to predict singular or even 3 games.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'd probably take the Trailblazers in that. Despite the Suns are a great story. When was the last time they made the playoffs?
I don't think Lillard's going to let the
ago.
Long time ago. Nash probably.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them have a shot against the Lakers just because.
I don't think Lillard's going to let the Trailblazers lose to the Suns.
I kind of agree. I do. The one thing I really again is I appreciated the Suns and Red Hot. I don't know if you did it.
Oh, yeah.
I will say though, the Suns have is for the future a really good team, a good supporting cast with Ricky Rubio and Bridges, and then their 2 stars and Ayton, who is perennially underrated just because Doncic and Young were in his class. But and obviously Booker's a killer. I've always thought that. But one thing to look at, I agree with Mike. I agree with everyone here that it'll be Blazers, Suns. Blazers take the AC just because Dame's not letting them lose. One team, though, I can see being sneaky is the Spurs, man. Derek White's been on a tear, and Popovich hasn't missed the playoffs in 22 years, I believe, which is tied for the longest streak. They have motivation. I can see the Spurs sneaking on in there from out of everyone's noses. Jacob?
Yeah, one thing that you guys are disrespecting the Blazers a little bit. It's not just Lillard. They also have McCollum. They got Whiteside, Nurkic. They're a very good team. It's not just Lillard's team. He's just the star on the team.
Yeah, but
he's taking such a large volume of shots.
Yeah,
I know.
It's hard to think about anybody else.
Sorry, when you're scoring 50 points 2 days in a row, it's Lillard's team. I understand there's other good players, but it's Dame's team.
The one thing I see just looking at this Western Conference is that
Don't forget Carmelo Anthony.
a lot of the times in the bottom seeds, like the 7, 8, 9 in the NBA playoffs, you see teams that are just mediocre teams without any good players or aging teams way past their prime. There's a lot of great young teams.
Yeah.
You got the Mavericks and the Suns and the Grizzlies, and even the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell. So it's going to be obviously the Lakers are great, the Clippers are great, Nuggets, Rockets, but it's going to be some exciting series.
The West, as per the last 20 years, is stacked, of course. All right,
Yeah.
Let's move on to some baseball where we had a hectic weekend we have to cover. I know we got some topics that Dan is dying to get into. We got Astros, Athletics, fight and suspensions in the middle of Corona. Also, how about Judge, Tatis, Trout, and Blackman all going blistering starts? And of course, Daniel Fox's favorite team, the Tampa Bay Rays, are plunky but second place in the AL East, slowly crawling their way closer and closer to the Yankees. They beat the Yankees in a series this year. Got a little chirpy with the Yankees. So take with what you will, boys, and discuss.
So I will say that I was shocked when I saw the suspensions handed down. At first, I misread the tweet because I thought it was the coach who got 5 games and Liriano who got 20, and I was like, okay, that seems like something the MLB would do. But to give Liriano 5 games, I know that's
Wasn't it 6?
No, it's 5.
And Joe Kelly got 8.
But what my problem with the league is that there's no consistency. And it's what do they stand for? You make so many guidelines, and you say, look, we can't have teams. You can't have a player charging a team during this, pandemic when they're talking so much about social distancing. I thought they were going to crack down on that a lot harder and make sure nobody ever thinks about doing that. But, maybe they took what the Astros – the Astros coach was completely unprofessional. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, childish behavior.
There's absolutely no place for that. And give him 20 games suspended for a third of the season. I think that's fair. But Liriano getting only 5 games.
Yeah.
When he's getting 8 games and he's a reliever. Me, personally, I would go somewhere in the 8 to 10 range. But I think 5 games is just shocking.
Yeah, I agree with Fox. I think it definitely should have a little more than 5, maybe in the 10 to 12 range. But the Houston Astros batting coach definitely deserved the suspension. I would have. I mean, a third of the season is a lot, and when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's more like, I guess, if you look at it like 53 games in a normal season, which sounds absolutely ridiculous. But if Joe Kelly got 8, I feel like Laureano's definitely should have been higher.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's all about consistency.
There's no consistency, but I'm happy it's only 5 because I do have Laureano on my fantasy team.
Honestly,
no ethics there.
I'm just saying karma is hitting the Astros, and karma is hitting them hard. Like, I just think, I almost wonder if the fact that they got no punishments is hurting their team more than
absolutely, without a doubt.
Right, because if they did, it'd be like, okay, they cheated, they were awful, this is scummy, but they were punished, let's move on. But because they were never punished, they're not really able to move on, and people are still holding them to it.
But I don't think this fight had anything to do with, like, all the cheating scandal things. I think Laureano was just mad that he got hit 3 times, and then he started telling the pitcher how to throw a slider, which was hilarious.
Mad, rightfully so, getting hit 3 times.
The coach took exception to it.
But speaking of the Astros not doing well, let's talk about their big 3, Altuve, Bregman, and Springer, all off to very, very slow, horrific starts.
Look how happy you are.
I'm so happy.
Did you guys see Altuve get himself out by the ball hitting his bat twice?
Bunting and then hitting his bat, yep.
That's embarrassing.
That's actually really funny.
Altuve's making a lot of errors. He's not hitting. He's hitting 187, which is pathetic.
Well, this is to be expected.
It's no Gary Sanchez or Andrew Benintendi level, but it's still pretty sad.
This is to be expected, though, in one, you're not getting the pitches anymore. You've been relying on 2 years. But more importantly, pitchers want to beat you bad. They're good. You're going to every night. You're going to have your best stuff. I feel like a lot of this is the mental game. When you're a pitcher, you know you've been pretty much bamboozled and hoodwinked by the Astros for 2 to 3 years or however long, and you want to strike them out. You have
they want to F you up.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's anything about pitchers trying harder. I think pitchers always try really hard, and he's a great hitter.
I know, but I think have extra motivation.
No, I think Fox is right. This idea in sports that when people are angry, when people are frustrated, they play better or try harder or pitch faster. I'm not saying it's never true. It's very rarely true because in sports you generally want to be calm, you want to be more focused, and there's not that many players that can transfer that anger into more focus. And I'm just saying this idea that they're playing harder, I think, isn't really a real idea. I think it's probably more that the Astros offseason was completely taken over by this. The Astros are completely frustrated and feel they need to prove themselves and just making themselves really nervous. And frankly, it's just right. They've had tons of distractions, and the entire world is rooting for them to lose. It's not
the one thing I will say is that in a 60-game season, that slumps are magnified. I mean, that's the thing I've noticed about this. When every 10 games in, we're talking about Christian Yelich, we're talking about Cody Bellinger or Madison Bumgarner, where 2 or 3 bad starts or 10 bad games. Look, Altuve's a great player. Is he the MVP player he was? I know Jacob won't like me calling him MVP, but he's not the same player.
Judge.
He's had major knee surgeries, and he's eventually going to hit, but he's not the same player. So he's going to go through slumps. That's just baseball.
What do you guys think about the Rays doing well? So I kind of want to goat Fox's move on. I want to goat Fox a little bit to get a specific reaction. So Fox, want to go on a little rant? Why do you think the Rays are doing well? Fox, what are your thoughts on the Rays? Would you care to enlighten the audience?
Yeah.
We brought you here for a reason.
Look, I just personally, I think Jacob will back me up, is that I don't have a lot of respect for the Rays organization. And you would think someone who's analytically minded like me would respect a team that, finds their players on the scraps and is able to win games.
3 words. They're not good.
Are that true? But they're also just not that good. And part of it is that they could theoretically have more money if they didn't play in an absolute dump. With no fans, they can't generate any revenue, and now they throw out trash. Literally, Travis d'Arnaud, a backup catcher, they picked him up like the waivers. Like they picked him up from the dumpster.
d'Arnaud's on the Braves.
I'm talking about last year.
Oh, okay.
They picked him up from the dumpster and batted him leadoff, And it's just it's annoying that they find ways to win.
It's very annoying.
Because I'm a Red Sox fan, but I feel like even now, every time the Red Sox play the Rays, they are the more talented teams. And I know Ellis disagrees with me, but I like to see the more talented teams win. And look, they played the Yankees well. They took 3 out of 4. I mean, I think we saw some of the Yankees' struggles get magnified with Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez. And, when Aaron Judge goes a series, how many home runs did he hit that series?
Versus the Rays?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I don't think he hit any.
I think he had 0.
Yeah, so when Aaron Judge hits 0 home runs, and that's kind of a problem for the Yankees, especially now with Stanton going out. And, look, the Rays have great pitching. They do, and the Yankees don't hit well in Tropicana Field, and now the Rays –
He had one home run.
Okay.
The doubleheader day.
Yeah. The Rays – a clutch home run when they were up, 5.
Yeah.
And then the Rays went to Boston and, won a tough game on Monday, and then they blew them out yesterday. Look, Rays probably going to make the playoffs. I mean, they're not as good. They're not a World Series contender, but they have enough pitching, and they're a good team. They can't hit them.
Yeah, speaking of other hot starts, I'm going to name 4 players, Fox, Jeremy, I will also, Ellis can as well. Give me your input on if they're going to keep it up or if they're going to slow down. Aaron Judge, Fernando Tatis Jr., Mike Trout, and Charlie Blackmon.
I'll keep it up. That's quick, easy for me. Maybe not Blackmon's going
Blackmon's
crazy.
hitting 500.
Blackmon's going to go
It's
down.
ridiculous.
So, but I think Blackmon will have a good season.
He's 34 of 68.
All of them will keep it up. Tatis, young star, amazing. Mike Trout, do I need to say more? Aaron Judge, unless he gets injured, do I need to say more? Done. That's easy for me.
I mean, I think I kind of agree. I think it's hard to say completely, right, because the season's so short. So even if they have a bad game or a few games, it will then thus be considered a slump, even if it's just 2 or 3 games. But I think overall, yeah, they'll keep it up. I don't know if they'll keep up the insane 500 pace, but they'll keep being good for sure.
I guess one thing you can say of the season that it's a fourth of the way done already, which is ridiculous. And the fact that Blackmon is hitting 500 and Tatis and Trout have 8 home runs and Judge has 9. All of them. I mean, also Trout was out for 4 games, Foxy? I'm not quite sure how many.
Yeah,
he was out for 4 games, and he's already second in the majors in home runs.
No, this is a season. If there's a season for many insane percentages and things like that to be records,
you're gonna get some weird numbers. You're absolutely
it's
right.
It's gonna be this season because there's no time for them to be to return to the median just based on a longer season.
The thing about those players you all mentioned, and obviously there's other players off to hot spots, but
yeah, of course.
Specifically the 4 players you have here, they're all nothing surprising about what they're doing. I mean, we know what Aaron Judge does when he's healthy. We know Mike Trout's the best player in baseball. We know Charlie Blackmon, he hit 330 a couple of years ago. And the one thing, I mean, you talked about Fernando Tatis. I mean, what a player. I mean, this is his he is emerging. Last year he was just electric and a great player, but I don't think he was a household superstar. He is a superstar. And we talk about 2 or 3 years down the line, once Mike Trout declines, it's either – I mean, I'm very high on Mount Acuna too, but Fernando and obviously Cody Bellinger, but Fernando Tatis is going to be the best player in baseball. He's that good.
He is that good. I don't know if he's the best, but he's definitely will be a top player.
I think
that's the most valuable. You talk about a shortstop who hits for that kind of power and
consistently good fielding, all-star playing. Yeah.
Also the hair, the flair, that makes star.
Also, one more thing before we move on to our predictions.
Yeah.
Fox, look at that AL Central right now. Very competitive. Got four teams over 500.
All right, let's get out of the way. The Tigers, look, they're going to decline. I know. Ori doesn't think so. Ori would hate that, but it's like CJ Cron, Jacoby Jones. I mean, you're getting carried
Miguel
by
Cabrera.
Hats off to Miguel Cabrera. I think we all like to see him.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he has his legs back under him, and he's actually driving the ball and not just hitting singles the other way. And we know about the Indians. Their offense is up and down. It's very top heavy, but that pitching staff can compete with everybody. And we got to see how this story affects that. I mean, with the Clevenger and Plesac suspended, that could ruin a lot of their chemistry. That's the kind of thing that could derail a season.
I mean, their pitching is still very good.
No, I know, but how are those guys? How are those guys going to come back into the? How are they going to come back into the clubhouse? And I've always been very high on the White Sox, and
Yeah, young
Robert
core, very young core.
Yeah, they have such a Moncada. Yeah, they have such a good team.
Robert, Jimenez.
All right, I think it's time. That's enough from the baseball bros who
And the Twins, too. Alex Glenn, shout out to the Twins.
I've seen them talk, and this conversation go on for an hour.
It could go on for hours.
Unfortunately, this is not the
minutes.
What, Jeremy?
I do not recommend the hour.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to run this
podcast. I compare it to watching paint dry on like
Yeah, you guys should make your own podcast. Anyway, we'll promote you guys if you do. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's move on to some predictions from that baseball talk, which putting me to sleep. Sorry, I'm taking over. I like baseball, but I had to.
Martina will probably complain that I talk too much.
For Ori. Anyway. Let's move on to some basketball. I'm looking at Jeremy's picks here, and he picked every single favorite again.
Yeah, not surprised.
No backbone. Jeremy, let's start with you. No, you can explain yourself.
Yeah, go for it, Jeremy.
Thunder versus Clippers.
Okay, well, so I was debating this one because I think, let me put it like this. The Clippers are clearly the better team, but you know what? You're calling me out. I'm going to go with the Thunder, and here's why. Just simply because this game matters a lot more for the Thunder, right? The Clippers are locked into a playoff spot. I think it's pretty clear they don't really care that much which playoff spot they're at. It's kind of like, we'll get there and we'll figure it out when we're there.
True.
Essentially, the Thunder, really well-coached team, going into this highly motivated, gets one of the best teams in the league, one of the teams to beat. And frankly, it just to me turns out I think they'll try a whole hell of a lot more than the Clippers.
That's especially later.
Fair evaluation.
That's a very fair evaluation. Jacob?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of happy Jeremy chose the Thunder. I'm going to go with the Clippers here. The Thunder and the Clippers both have clinched playoff berths. The Clippers, in my opinion, are a much better team, and I think they win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the standings here, and a couple things, and scores, and a couple things come to mind. The first is that the Thunder, they had a very emotional game against the Nets, and if you're
against the who?
Nets.
The Nets.
Oh, I thought I said Mets. My bad. Go on.
Ellis, Jeremy's switching all his picks now.
Go on. That's fine.
I was debating. This was my
Go on.
Wait,
do what you want, Jeremy.
Ellis, write yours in.
I will after.
I close the tab. Pull.
Thunder Clippers, Foxy.
I know. I gotta pull up the tab. I accidentally closed it.
Like their team or something.
I'm not changing my baseball picks. I think they're great.
Because they're all the better team.
Exactly, but why would you not pick the better team when you're picking teams?
Why?
No, because that's not necessarily. You want to pick because you're a favorite doesn't mean you think they'll win.
I think they'll win.
It's fine. Just do what you want. If you think every favorite's gonna win, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, of course not. And as you see, I picked the Thunder, and there is legitimately motivation in matchups.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to pick the Thunder too. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Stop.
I want
to finish. Go Fox, go.
Okay, so if you're the Thunder, I think you really would rather get that 6th seed and play the Nuggets instead of getting the 7th seed and playing the Clippers. So they have a lot to play for. If you're the Clippers, I don't think you care too much between the Jazz and the Thunder. So, look, I'm not saying they're going to tank the game, but there's going to be some minimum restrictions. There's going to be, maybe Kawhi only plays like 25 minutes. So I'm gonna roll with the Thunder.
Yeah, I was actually going to pick Clippers here with Jacob, but frankly, Fox and Jeremy convinced me to pick the Thunder. They got more to play for. Kawhi, like LeBron, has problems with putting in effort at the end of years. Like not the playoffs, obviously, but the end of the regular season. And Chris Paul is always a dog, always will be. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander probably going to play. Obviously a killer.
This game's definitely a toss-up. It can go either way for sure.
All right, let's continue with basketball. Let's do Nuggets versus Raptors. Another one because the Raptors might be resting players. We're not sure how that was going to work based on win losses. What do you guys think? Let's do Fox.
Yeah, I mean, Raptors, I know they got blown out by the Celtics earlier. Shout out Celtics. Don't get enough love ever. We'll see. I mean, I don't think they have anything to play for. They're locked into the 2 seed. Who are they playing again?
Nuggets, who
Raptors,
kind of have
Nuggets.
more to play for.
Nuggets have a lot to play for.
No, Raptors have nothing to play for.
Yeah.
Jokic, Siakam, that's a good that matchup. I'm going to roll with the Raptors.
All right. Jeremy?
I think I'm gonna go for the Nuggets simply because if you look at the standings, the Nuggets actually have a lot to play for, right? So the Nuggets are currently 1 game behind the Clippers, so they could theoretically get the 2 seed, which
would be nice.
Good.
They're 1.5 games behind, so they
Yeah,
can't
but
they can't get it.
They have an extra game on the Clippers.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Honestly, I think the thing about the Clippers, which maybe makes the last point not fair, because they might try for one more game to make sure they lock in the 2 seed.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think the Clippers care what seed they are.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is that I think the Clippers don't care that much what seed they are. Right, if they're the 3 seed, then they're just going to end up playing the 2 seed anyway. So before they play the Lakers, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
I kind of just think that the Nuggets care a lot more than the Clippers do. So
I'm going to go, you go Nuggets? You go Nuggets, Jeremy?
Go Nuggets.
I'm going to agree with you again, Jeremy, simply because, I just think the Raptors are going to rest some players or give them minutes restrictions. I'm going Nugs. The Nuggets have more to play for. They have a deeper squad, even if they give minutes restrictions. So I'm going Nuggets. Jacob?
Yeah, I also think the Nuggets will win this game. Obviously, Nuggets and Raptors both very good competitive teams in their respective conferences. But as everyone said, the Nuggets have a little more to play for. They could potentially get the 2 seed. Raptors are already locked in with their conference win and with the 2 seed in the East Conference.
Okay, now next let's move on to some baseball predictions. First one here, we got a Red Sox fan in Fox and a Yankees fan in Jacob. Obviously, me and Jeremy are also Yankees fans, but a bit more serious.
We're not
what do you guys all think about the Saturday matchup, Yankees versus Red Sox?
Jeremy?
Yankees. Yankees are a better team. I think Aaron Judge is going off. I don't think.
Do you have a pitch? Do you know the pitcher yet?
I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah,
I don't. That would not affect my decision.
Nothing right now.
I think it's Evaldi for the Red Sox.
Looks like they have Hart going Thursday. So what's 2 days after?
Saturday.
Cole. I think it's Cole.
Yankees have Tanaka today.
Which means Cole. It's either Cole
so it's Tanaka,
Cole
then
or Paxton.
So it's gonna be Tanaka and then Paxton, right?
How many games do the Yankees have this week?
They have a Wednesday, and they're off Thursday, and then they start Friday versus the Red Sox.
I think it's gonna be Cole. I think it's Cole.
I think it's gonna be Cole too. It's Tanaka.
I think it's one of the guys. No, Cole's starting the first game.
No.
Who started the? Yeah.
It's Tanaka. It's Tanaka today, and then an opener, and then Cole.
Yeah.
Let's cut.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm almost positive it is.
I saw something that said Cole was starting.
It could be Cole because we have 2 off days this week.
Who's the second guy who started the second game of the doubleheader for the Yankees?
Versus the Rays.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday was Montgomery.
Yeah, it's gonna be Cole. It is. Regardless, I'm picking personally. Like Jeremy said, it doesn't matter to me. I'm picking Yankees.
Yeah, to me it doesn't. It also doesn't matter who's pitching. If it's Garrett Cole, I think it's definitely the Yankees. Either way, I think the Yankees win this game. Sorry, Foxy.
Baseball is a weird game.
It is a weird game, very much so.
You never know what's going to happen. And I don't even know who the Red Sox are going to pitch. I think Evaldi's going Friday, actually, now that I thought about it. Which means an opener is going Saturday. And we know opener – I tell you, opener –
that Red Sox bullpen is really filled with star power.
I feel like, Saturday, 7 o'clock, guys going to be ready. Guys going to be amped up, ready to play. Yankees, maybe take the Red Sox for granted. Mitch Moreland hitting well. Andrew Benintendi's on the DL. That could help the Red Sox out, not having his 0 for 4 in the lineup. JD Martinez hit a home run. I'm rolling with the Sox. Why not?
Okay.
At least you're loyal to your team. Loyal to your team.
All right, we got another MLB matchup, National Orioles. Orioles have been pretty good considering it's the Orioles. Where are you going?
I'm checking the pitching matchup.
Jacob, where are you going?
When is this
matchup?
Well, I'll put my pick really quick. I was going to pick the Orioles as a little sneaky pick. This is Saturday.
Orioles who?
Nationals. You guys can figure out the pitching matchup. To me, it doesn't matter. Here's why. Is this filled with analytics, stats, or brain power? No. But as I said last episode, the Nationals have something that the Orioles just do not have. And that is baby Jesus, Juan Soto, who went off last game, just like I predicted, and the Nationals won 19-3. So Juan Soto stepping up again. If he goes off, gets another home run, I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame. It's just happening. If not, then he'll have to wait a little bit. Baby Jesus in the Hall of Fame. Juan Soto.
Yeah, I agree with Ellis here. I wouldn't call him baby Jesus because he's only played a couple games because he was on the IL with COVID.
That's why he's a baby.
Sure, not Jesus though. But I do agree with Ellis. I think the Nationals win this game. They're on paper and in my brain, they're a better team. They have better pitching. They have better bullpen. They have much more star power on offense as well.
All right, I want to speak to the Nationals real quick because I know they're all listening to the pod.
Of course. I would like to be clear, every single Nationals member, even their person that brings in the water.
No excuse. You got Juan Soto back. Scherzer had a hamstring scare. He's back. Strasburg is back. Win some baseball games. You got the Orioles. Look, Orioles aren't that good. They're not even good. I can't even say they're not that. No, they're not good. Not a good baseball team. Nationals defending champs. It's time to get rolling. They have a big series with the Braves coming up. It's a super winnable division when you talk about how up and down the Mets are, and the Phillies, they sort of bouncing back, but they're kind of a mess too. Go win the division. Start Saturday. I'm picking the Nationals.
All right, speaking of the Mets, the volatile Mets versus the Phillies,
Hey,
big rivalry match.
I have not given my pick yet.
Oh, boy. My first big mistake as host.
Wait. Breaking news.
What happened?
What?
Giannis got suspended a game.
Oh,
He
what?
did?
Headbutting?
It doesn't matter. They already clinched
Whatever.
the Eastern Conference.
I've done dirtier on a basketball court.
Yeah, you really have.
Yeah. All right,
So,
Jeremy.
For those who don't know, I like to say that Fox has the rule that with picking, you have to move, and then after you hit the person, you have to stop. It's a homebrew rule.
A little walk and pick. Walk and pick.
For the Nationals and Orioles, I mean, gotta go baby Jesus. I can't pick against Jesus.
All right, so everyone picks baby Jesus. I'm glad we're all in agreement. I think we're on all be agreement on this next one. I'm going to start us off. The volatile Mets at Phillies. Well, I told you, everyone listens to the podcast and prior episodes about my rule about I always pick Dodgers and Yankees. Well, that rule's kind of getting changed, but here's a new rule. Never pick against the Mets, because I picked the Nationals versus Mets last week, and they won 16-3. The Mets just suck, and they'll be good once in a while, but you'll never be able to predict when they're good. So, I mean, the Phillies are a good team. Bryce Harper, we stand Didi. I'm going the Phillies, the long, luscious locks of Aaron Nola.
Yeah, also, I'm going to pick the Phillies here. Aaron Nola versus Steven Matz. Steven Matz with a very high ERA so far this season. Nola struggled early, but he's really gotten his stuff together recently. Obviously, Bryce Harper, one of my favorite players, Didi Gregorius, ex-Yankee on the Phillies, doing very well. Phillies win this game. And as Ellis said, the Mets just always suck.
I'd like to answer this with a question.
Yes.
Do you know what the best time to go to the Mets Stadium is?
When?
During the U.S. Open, where it's the U.S. Open parking lot.
Damn.
Damn. Oh, my God.
Honestly, Subway Series is a pretty good time as well.
It's all about you, Jacob.
No, it's about the Yankees.
Go on.
Shut up, Fox.
Whatever, Jeremy.
So I'm just saying, I appreciate that the Mets may be good sometimes, but I'm never picking a team that isn't even the most relevant thing that happens in its own stadium. And shut up, the Jets do not apply to this rule. So I'm going with the Phillies.
Very nice. And last prediction of the day, and then we'll announce the scores from last week.
Wait, you skipped me.
Did I really? Oh, my God. My host, I'm slowly
You're off, Ellis.
Oh my
Fox,
God.
go.
I have a very important message to say.
Sorry.
Look, I think one thing that hasn't been discussed enough is some big trades on my fantasy team. We've been blowing stuff up.
Yeah,
that's
some wacky trades, my friend.
Fox, that's how I was supposed to introduce you, as the bad trade master. But go
Why
on. I
didn't
forgot
you?
that.
Really terrible trades, Fox.
I fell asleep before the draft, so I've been making changes.
You're making
And
terrible trades.
I'll give Aaron Nola credit. He has been the consummate professional during this tumultuous time, and he's going to go out there and shove versus the Mets, and they're going to win. And the Phillies are going to win the game.
Very, very. Also, Pete Alonso sucks. PSA. Anyway, let's move on. Last pick of the day.
Agree.
Dodgers versus Angels. Jeremy, go here first.
You said it yourself. You don't pick against the Dodgers or Yankees.
I said that's no longer my rule, but okay.
Well, you know what?
Simple enough.
Your rule applies even when you do not follow it.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna listen to my rules. Know why?
I just want to say rules are
What?
actually not meant to be broken.
That's not true.
To not be
Anyway, Difference of philosophy. I'm breaking my own rule for a second week in a row. Know why? Have you seen Mike Trout's arm? That man is a freaking Hummer of an arm. Oh my God. Sexiest arm in the world. Mike Trout?
Yeah.
No.
You're talking about his arm.
That's what you made it sound like, Ellis.
Nah, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about his biceps, bro. Have you seen him hit a golf ball? Have you seen him hit a baseball? He's gonna drag. I wouldn't
think you would know a lot about big muscles.
Yeah.
I don't, but I can admire good muscles when I see one. He's practically busting out of his shirt. He's gonna carry the Dodgers to a win. He's gonna smack 2 home runs.
Angels to a win.
Angels to a win. 2 home runs. Angels win 5-3. Jacob or Dan?
Yeah, I'll go. Obviously, Dodgers, Angels. Dodgers are the better team here. I'm looking to try to figure out who's going to pitch. Foxy, if Walker Buehler started August 9th, you think he's up next?
What day was the 9th?
A week. Last Sunday.
Sunday, and we're talking Saturday?
We're talking Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday?
Yeah.
No. He'll probably pitch Saturday or Friday.
Friday's Kershaw, so I'm just trying to figure out who's after.
Yeah, if it's Kershaw, then it's Buehler.
Well, Buehler is not there. Buehler was their 4th in the rotation early in the season.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I think, as El said, Mike Trout hitting bombs. Shohei Ohtani, unable to pitch this year because he just keeps getting injured, hitting bombs. I think the Angels win this game, even though the Dodgers do have a lot of star power. Mookie Betts heating up. Cody Bellinger is struggling a lot, and I think the Angels win this game. I think it's close, but I think the Angels win.
Look, I talked to the Nationals. I'm not even that mad at the Nationals. I'm mad at the Angels. You got Mike Trout in his prime, giving you Hall of Fame season after Hall of Fame season, and you're not doing it with it, doing anything with it. Went out, got Anthony Rendon. You have Ohtani. I know he's not pitching. You got freaking David Fletcher, and look at you, last place. Well, 4th place. Time to do something. You got the Dodgers. Time to make a statement. You got Mike Trout's going to hit a couple bombs. I'm picking the Angels.
Glad the real baseball players are all picking Angels. Jeremy's picking Dodgers. Gives great confidence myself.
Jeremy's looking at the records.
All right now.
What? The records do not lie.
After some good predictions and some good baseball, well, as good as baseball can get. Sorry, I had to do another Ori joke in there. Good baseball and basketball talk. Let's talk about the man versus horse marathon, which, oh, wow, I just blew that. All right, ready?
Wacky sport of the week.
Let's talk
Drum
about
roll, please.
The wacky sport of the week.
The wacky sport of the week is man versus horse marathon. Again, recently wacky sports have been pretty self-explanatory, but this one's kind of whack. So this is a sport where runners and horse riders compete against each other. It's a 22-mile course, and it's been held every June since 1980. So this will be its 40th year. Oh, wait, no. It probably got canceled for Corona. I haven't checked, but it probably got canceled for Corona. It happened when Gordon Green, who was just a landlord, heard a guy saying he could outrun a horse in his pub. So he set up the competition. And guess what? The horse beat the man. Shocking. But the men have a bit of advantages over the horse. Because you have to also climb and get on your knees, which obviously horses harder to do for them. So you have to get your knees on mud. You have to cross a river by swimming, and then it's just a dead race for some of the miles. So
how many miles?
Race, it's 22 miles altogether. The crawling part's 2 miles. I see that here.
That's crazy.
Runners get 15-minute advantage over the horse, and a woman.
Sounds like something I could do.
I was about to say that.
And I'm fully kidding. I am fully kidding.
No, I said Jacob. I was about to say Jacob. It looks like it would be the kind of person who thinks he could beat a horse in a race.
I'm fully kidding. I could not.
Fun fact: on the 25th annual race,
yes,
a runner for the first time ever beat the horse in 2004.
Oh, what?
Hugh was his name. He completed the course in 2 hours and 15 minutes and 90 seconds, claiming 25,000. Hugh Lob, it sounds like. He completed and made $25,000. So if you think you can beat a horse, sign up for this. Make a quick $25,000 bucks. $25,000. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I don't have a job opportunity.
The grammar's not new. We know we all struggle with it.
The person who won this seems like the kind of person who, when they say no horseplay in a lab, did not listen.
This is true. I'm going to share my screen to show you a picture of this man. Kind of has a bad seating.
Who has bigger calves, him or Saquon?
Well,
Definitely a safe one.
I can't share my screen. I'll describe him for him. He's very skinny, got really nerdy glasses on, and a receding hairline, and he's better than a horse. So, ladies,
Wait, are we talking about the horse or the person?
the person?
Okay.
What the horse's
Nerdy
receding
glasses.
hairline? Anyway,
You never know.
let's move on now to some other pressing information, and let's wrap it up. We're going to talk about the competition so far because we're in week 4, and there's 5 weeks of the competition. Just remind the audience, I'm the undefeated champion as of now, 2-0.
You're not 2-0. You have 1 win and a tie with me.
Okay, yes. Well, you're right.
So you're not
1-1.
2-0.
But guess what? You didn't steal my belt. So you got to win to steal my belt. Right now, though, Jeremy's ahead by 2 points. Jacob's in the middle, below Jeremy for 2 points, obviously, and I'm behind Jacob.
Jeremy has 14. I have 12. Ellis has 10.
Yeah.
It's a much easier way of saying what Ellis just said.
Yeah, well, again, I'm not normally a host. But, yeah, so obviously I'm still in striking distance. Jeremy, though, if he can win this week, we'll have a good grasp on the title, which we're trying to get a belt for, which we'll
Dodgers,
show you
that's
soon.
all I'm saying.
Yes, Dodgers, that's a big game in the decision. Anyway, the reason why I only have 10 and Jacob has 12 and Jeremy has 14, though, is because of our newest Hall of Fame induction. I really hate this, too, because I hate this player so bad. I already just kind of gave him away, so Jacob is fine. Because he's one of the most overrated players of all time.
Bad.
He cares about fashion too much. But listen, all we care about for Watt Podcast Hall of Fame is if you deliver 2 players or more victory on a clutch shot. And Kyle Kuzma did that, posting 25, 8, and 6 versus the Nuggets. He helped in the fourth quarter, started Bulin, cut the Nuggets lead, tie the game. Nuggets missed a free throw, tie game. And then Kyle Kuzma off the LeBron James inbound pass to Davis. Davis outlived the pass to Kuzma, who LeBron ran a fake Kuzma 3 over Monte Morris, drained it. Well, not technically a buzzer beater, but there's 0.3 seconds left, so it's pretty much a buzzer beater game. Kyle Kuzma ices the game. Kyle Kuzma, you're our 3rd addition to the Watt Podcast Hall of Fame. Juan Soto, you'll be our 4th. You can hit a home run next game. I am so mad. I can't believe I'm having Kyle Kuzma.
Can I set the scene?
Let me
set the scene.
Give me a second. Kyle Kuzma completely delegitimizes the Watt Podcast Hall of Fame, but rule's a rule. Congrats, buddy. I'm going to rage about this for a long time.
Let me set the scene that I was just mad about. So, me and Ellis went to a small gathering for our friend's birthday, and on the way home, we are checking up on our team, right? We are looking at the Lakers-Nuggets game, right? The Nuggets are about to take the lead. We are looking at the phone. It looks like the Nuggets had the lead, but then no, it's tied. And right as we're getting in the car, I was like, I'm going to watch overtime at home. Then we get in the car and we see Kyle Kuzma hit his 3. It was a fast.
There was no overtime. Kyle Kuzma iced it.
The only overtime was the celebration in my heart.
So congrats to him, I guess. All right, let's wrap this up. Before we talk about Kyle Kuzma more, I'm gonna have to go on another profane rant, and we don't have Ori to bleep out all our curses again because I'm so angry about that. Like,
not that we curse. We would never curse on such a podcast as this.
As always, follow our Twitter at Watt Podcast 1 and our Instagram at Watt.podcast. We are on Deezer, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So you better listen to us because you have no excuse. I know Dan listens to us daily because he's always a guest here. So week 4, check in on us there. Jeremy right now has a lead. You know, we've been having good episodes. We always thank you, our hosts. Yeah, watch those, listen to those episodes. They're up there if you want to hear the other predictions from week 3, 2, and 1.
And remember, there is winners to this bracket. The more exciting thing is the loser will get a punishment, which we will post on our Instagram.
Yes. So, and we're getting a winner's belt, like a UFC belt. Anyway, we're probably going to take a week hiatus, maybe 2, so we can have Jacob going to Syracuse. Wish him good luck. Ori's already at William and Mary. Wish him good luck. Me and Jeremy might be getting a house. Wish us good luck that we don't break the house. Fox will get Ithaca. Wish him good luck. So, yeah, we might be taking a week break, maybe 2. Sorry if you get that, but we will be back with episode 27, better than ever, like always. College edition. We're college boys now. That comes with new maturity. Psych. Of course, we're not being mature. Anyway, as always, stay safe. Have an awesome week. Hope you enjoyed the episode and want to help me with this. Bye.
Adios.
Bye.